it's time for us to start on our last section of our assignment with orthographic projections and isometric sketches. And this is going to talk about measurement. And so I'm going to show you the measurement end of this. And so let's review real quick. Here's our isometric sketch, and here's our orthographic projection we got from that. This is the piece I drew. So if you look, the top view is all that's in the pink, and I went ahead and shaded this pink, and I did a video of this before, and it looks just like this. If you were to look straight down on that object, see how it looks like that there? But for the top, we don't need all that. We just need to look like we're looking straight down. Do you see how these two look the same? That's what I'm going for. The front view, when it's like this, the front view is right here. Okay, see how this shape matches up with that shape right there? And then the side view for like this, it's going to be this part right here. Do you see how that matches up right there? The extra object line is where there's a change in elevation. That's what that represents. Okay, like here, you don't just draw like a little T, you have to put that line there because of this change in elevation. Okay, that's the basics. All right, and so let's go talk about measurement. Measurement is really simple in this. The only thing is you have to be careful with your space. So first thing we do, we always want our measurements to kind of be in the middle of our two pieces. And when we do an orthographic projection, it's really important that the sides of our top and front view line up, and the top and bottom of our front view and side view line up, because we can use one measurement line for both of these. Okay, so I'm going to draw a line out like that and like that. Okay, I probably drew more than I needed. And I just put a little arrow here. I draw this line in. Now you're supposed to use a ruler here. I'm kind of going quick. Okay, and let's count this up. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we put a 6 there. Okay. Now, for this one, if we extend, well, let's see if I want to do this. We can do it this way. I'm going to draw these two lines up. And this time, instead of drawing my arrows on the inside like I did here, I'm going to go on the outside. You usually only do these outside arrows when you're dealing with a smaller space. Okay? And that's going to be 2. 1, 2. Okay? Notice that when I extend these lines out, I'm not actually touching the object itself. Okay, and if we really want to, we could add another for these, but well, yeah, we might as well. So let's go ahead and see. I should extend this down here, put another arrow here, and this is where another 2 would go. You don't have to put all of the measurements on here. You just need to do enough, because like, look, if I know this is 2 and this is 2, I don't need to put this measurement here because I know 2 plus 2 is 4 and 4 minus 6 is 2. So I know what this measurement is. Okay. Now we can go and do height. So first let's do our overall height. So we're going to draw this out from here. Okay. And let's go out a little bit further. When we're doing height, when we're doing these measurements, we always go from smaller to larger. So I'm going to do an arrow here, an arrow here. Actually, I should have touched that. And this is going to be 1. Okay, and then I'm going to do an arrow here, an arrow here, and this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Now, look, I got all these measurements. I've got the measurement for this side and the whole thing, and I know this little middle piece is 3 because I've got this 1 here and 4. I don't need to do this middle piece because you can just subtract and figure it out. All right, so now lastly, we've got to get this piece right here. So we've got 2 measurements. This one I'm going to bring down. You usually want to try to keep your measurements in the middle if possible, but here it's going to look a little bit more clean if I do it at the bottom. I'm going to draw this arrow down. This is 1, 2, 3. And this guy. Be 1. Okay, and that's how that works. Okay, let's do the next one real quick. Okay, I'm gonna bring my lines down. Okay, I'm going to draw my arrow here. And here. And this is going to be 3. 1, 2, 3. And then this guy right here. Oops, I keep forgetting to touch that one I'm supposed to touch. It's going to be 1. Okay. So I know the distance from here to here because I can just subtract 1 from 3. This is 2. 1, 2. Okay. So we're done with the top part. Now I just got to do the sides. Same thing. Bring out these lines. This one is probably going to look better if I go from this side, so I'm going to do that way. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 tall. And this guy. It's going to be 1. Okay. Now we got to get these last measurements, which is just this one right here. Well, I say that. We're actually not going to do this one right here. We're going to bring this up. I'll show you why. Because we can actually see the change here. Let's bring that up there. This guy's 2, and this guy's 1. Okay, Now we know all those measurements. And we can see it right here. What's the distance of this? This is 1. What's the distance of these two? 1, 2. Distance of this right here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Also the distance of our top right there. 1, 2, 3. So you can kind of see how it all combines. All right. Move on to the next portion. This is where it gets a little bit more complicated. On these sketches, a couple things I didn't do that I already see that I forgot. So let me find my pencil. Right here in the middle, there's a center line. Oh no, actually not there. There's actually would be a center line right here. So I'm not going to draw it in. Well, it's not hidden. Well, basically what that center line represents is this right here. Because this is a curve, right? We need to know what the radius is of that curve. So when we deal with radiuses, we draw an arrow, all right? And we're just going to draw right to here. And we can do either diameter or radius. So radius, you put an R. This would have a radius of 1, R1. And the reason is because imagine if this circle kept going, that little part for where that curve is made is 1, the radius is 1. You can also put right here diameter, which is a circle with a line through it, of 2. Because if you were to make this circle here, the diameter is 1, 2. Okay? But you're just talking about that one little half spot, so. Okay, then the rest is pretty much like normal, except there's a lot more details that you got to put into this. And I probably don't even have enough space between my shapes, which is why it's really important that you leave a lot of space between your shapes. Okay? So I'm going to draw my lines out. I'm going to try to do as best I can. Okay? Okay. Probably don't need this one. Right here, we also got to draw on these over here. So you can also draw lines out this way. I don't think I did that in the last examples. See, this shows me from this I can learn how far this comes out, how far over it goes. It goes 1. I can learn all that information from just looking at this. Okay? What angle this slants at, I can tell by that. It's at a 45-degree angle. Same with these measurements down here. Okay, now there are a bunch more measurements I have to get from this side over. I'm going to go and not do that. It's going to be the exact same as what I did up here. Just going to be drawing a line out here, 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 and here. There's going to be a bunch of measurements there. But I mainly just want to focus on the radius part. So right here, here's one of our circles. And I'm going to draw my line into it. I'm going to touch the circle with that arrow. Okay. And I'm going to say that's a diameter of 1. Because look, that whole circle only goes 1. Okay. And then right here, this one has a radius of 1. Now remember, this is a circle right here with a diameter of 1. This is a circle here with a radius of 1. Okay? Because remember, radius is only half, so it's always going to be twice as big as the diameter. Diameter is all the way across. All right? So if you follow that and go through, I want you to cut out your shapes. So you're going to go through your old paper. You're going to cut some of your old isometric sketches. I need you to get at least 2 done, but I'd like you to get 4. And I want you to draw them out. I really suggest you start with the easier ones first. Okay? And just remember, if you have any problems, just like with this piece right here, think about how it's shaped. Okay, so here's our shape. The top is going to be like this. Okay, look at how that matches my top. The part that's pink is all that you can see from this angle. Okay, and that's how you draw it out. You just basically draw a line around the outside of the box, and then a line here for that box. See, line around the outside of the box, line here for that part that comes up. Same thing if I go over to the front, the blue part, it'll look like this. Just a line around the outside from if you just looked at it from that side view. A little line right here because there's an angle, the elevation changes, it goes down. Or if it went up, either way, you put a line there. Okay? And then right here for the last part. Okay, so if there's our shape, the yellow part, look at it from that side view. Okay? And it's really important that when you draw these out, you leave plenty of spaces for your measurements. I probably did not leave enough space here. I probably prefer about 3 or 4 boxes, but you also line them up. The side of this matches the side of that. The side of that matches the side of that. The top of this matches the top. You can bring off, you always want your measurements to be brought towards the center too. Sometimes you have to draw out stuff out at the side, but most of the time you want to be in the middle, okay? And you can draw measurements off of this guy too. All right, so get working on that. Just cut out these paper, these little sketches, tape them in. You should have a side on the back that has some graph paper that you can draw these on. And it might be easier if you scale up, like for every 1 box you go here, you go 2 on here, and it'll make it bigger, and it'll probably look about more accurate to the size of your piece. All right,